Is Lollipop Chainsaw Repop as bad as people make it seem to be? Because this game had a lot of scrutiny at its release when it came out in September, because a lot of people were pointing out some of the problems in the game, some of the graphical problems, seeing that now this is a remaster and a port. Some of the things that did not look really good in the original game are now highlighted here and they never fixed it or stuff like that. There's also music from the original that's missing. There's a lot of bugs and glitches. So this game really had a bad release when it came out in September, but I finally had the chance to play this game mainly because I got my physical copy from Limited Run, because I pre-ordered this back like in the summertime just because I wanted a physical copy, because the original game has gone up in price and I just wanted a copy. And I was like, you know what, let me just pick up a physical copy this time, that way I can actually own the game, especially because this was a limited run release, so this game is probably going to be expensive in a few years. Finally got to play this game at the end of November because my copy finally came in, but I did see some of the problems like on Twitter. I would see one of the people that worked on this port, they would always be talking about like certain things about the game and updates and all that, and I would always click on the tweet because I would always see people saying, yo, can you fix this, fix this, fix that. So I saw that there was problems with the game because I never saw no videos or no gameplays just showing some of the problems that was wrong with this, because when I finally put this game into my PlayStation, I was interested to see like what exactly was going to be wrong in this game. Now, before I talk about this remaster, we got to talk about, is this game worth it? Now, with a price tag of $44.99, I'll say yes if you're a fan of the original, but at the same time, it is $44.99 and you should most definitely probably wait for this to go on sale. I think I did recently see that this game went on sale on Steam, but I would wait for this game to be basically $20 or less. And to me, I can't lie, this game should have most definitely been $25 or $30 as a starting point and not $44.99, because I can't lie, that kind of is really expensive, especially for a port. Yeah, I know it's a remaster and there's some graphical improvements and all that, but at the same time, this game should have been way cheaper and it should not have been $44. But at the same time, you can just wait for a sale, because this game is going to most definitely probably go on sale really soon, like even on consoles. But I did see that Steam does have it on sale, so if you want to pick this game up, then pick it up on Steam. I'm not sure exactly how cheaper it is on Steam right now, but it should be cheaper than $44.99. If it's $30 or less, I'll say pick this game up. But if it's $20 or less, then I'll say most definitely pick this game up if you're a fan of the game. Now, my experience with this game was probably different than a lot of other people that picked this game up as soon as it dropped, because I got this at the end of November, and by then there were updates and stuff that happened to this game, and I think it fixed some of the problems, because I really didn't experience any of the problems people were having. Yeah, I noticed that some of the music was missing, of course, but at the same time, because I didn't get none of the graphical issues that I saw that a lot of people were having, and the only bug I really encountered or just glitch or anything is like when I got stuck in this van, and that's when I was trying to do the chainsaw dash. I got stuck in between this van, and that was like the only issue I really had with the game. And besides that, the game was pretty bug free to me. Like, I didn't really encounter anything as crazy as that one, because like that happened, but at the same time I was able to get out of it, so it only happened for a few seconds. It was not like it crashed the game and I had to get out of the game, so it wasn't really that bad compared to some of the other things that other people have encountered with the game. I will say some people are being more critical on this game than it actually needs to be, because this is not that bad of a port, especially when you compare it to other games that have got ports. This is a pretty decent port because the game is still very playable and you can still have fun with the game. Yes, it might have some differences from the original, but there's a lot of things that they did improve in this game that actually made it fun, because trust me, because we have gotten really bad ports before, like something like this, which is a really bad port. So like, it's not that bad of a port. It's still a game that's very playable and you can play the game without encountering like way too many bugs and too many things that you would complain about that would ruin your experience, where something like this game, you know, it had a really bad experience. And even with the update that you can get on the PS3, or that with that Silent Hill Origin Collection, you know, that one still is a really bad port. Now I want to talk about some of the things that this game improved on compared to original. Is now from the jump you get all the combos and you can get them from the start, so you can pick whatever you want as long as you got enough coins. So that's one of the improvements. You got a lot more outfits, you have hairstyles, you have chainsaw skins that you can all unlock, so that's some of the cool things that they added. And along with having the audio from the original game, so you're gonna still have some of the funny wacky moments, like you're gonna get some of the funny crazy humor that the original game had, because they did not remove any of that. One of the other things this game adds is that they give you the choice to play on Repop or original. The only really difference is that in Repop you get flashy colors and effects when you kill zombies, where in the original mode you just get to see the blood. One of the things I did see that people were wishing would have got added in this game is that we would have got the original art style from the original game. I do think in the original mode they low-key could have done that, because when I first clicked on the original, I was thinking like, oh, are they about to go back to like the way the game looked on the PS3? And it was like, no, it was just the only difference was the blood. So I feel like that's a big missed opportunity to have the original art style just be on the original mode and have Repop be like how the game looks now. So it's a really big missed opportunity. Replaying this game made me realize how funny and wacky this game really is, especially how you have the mini games in this game, like the the basketball one and the baseball one. The basketball one is so funny, mainly because like you're slicing up zombies and then their heads go into the basket, and it's just pretty funny. That's one of the ones I really enjoy, and I'm happy that we are able to do that at least 2 times in this game, and they're all super fun. Even though I will say if you play it a little bit harder, it can be a little bit challenging, but at the same time, it's not really that challenging. It's probably just like a little bit challenging. They just adds like a little bit more to it, especially when you have the cheerleaders that sometimes can take forever to kill, but it's not really that bad of a game at all. But when it comes to the baseball one is pretty fun because that's when you get the chainsaw blaster and you can basically just shoot them. And it's a pretty easy game because all you're doing is just shooting all the zombies. Even when you get a whole bunch of zombies, it's still super fun and easy. And that's one of the ones I really like. I wish we were able to do that more than just one time because it was a really fun event. And one of the biggest highlights of this game is the combos, because the combos are really fun to do because there's so many crazy combos you can get, especially like when it comes to Juliet. She has so many different moves. Her being a cheerleader, they incorporate a lot of cheerleading moves that cheerleaders would do, and then you have a lot of wrestling moves, and there's a lot of just different fun things that you can do when it comes to that. And that's one of the fun things about this game, is just doing all the different combos, and then how you can just take down all these different enemies, either with the chainsaws, either with melee attacks, or if you're just like beating them up with your pom-pom. So there's a lot of fun things that you can do in this game when it comes to all the combos, and they're really enjoyable. Now, one of the other things I really like about this game are all the different areas that we get to visit, because one, for the first half of this game, we're in the high school, then we go to a farm, and then we're in an arcade, and then you're in a cathedral. There's a lot of really unique areas in this game that we have for each level, and each level does have very unique things, because like when you're on the farm, you have the whole bus thing, because when Juliet's sister's there and you're on the bus, so you have that area along with like all the different farm animals. And then when you're in the arcade, you have a lot of really cool things, like how you go inside the video games. Even though I will say some of those video games that you go inside of, some of them do suck. I will say some of them can be very irritating, but for the most part, it's not that bad. But there are some that are so goddamn irritating. And the last thing I want to talk about are the boss fights, because I really enjoy the boss fights in here. Yeah, some of them are more unique than the others, but they all are in very interesting places. Like the first one with Zed, you're basically in a junkyard, and then he has like all his speakers and all that. The boss fight itself, it's okay. It can get annoying at the very end when you're trying to take him out and he has like all the letters coming at you. That part can be very annoying, but for the most part, it's not really that bad at all. Now, the next boss fight that's actually is pretty interesting is the next one that happens on the Viking ship. That one's pretty interesting, mainly because like in each boss fight, you know, there's a lot of different stages that you go through. And this one, you know, you cut him up multiple times until like he's that big ass giant head, and there's just a lot of fun things, especially because like you're using the chainsaw gun, and that's what's really incorporated with this boss fight a lot. And the next one, you do have the one shorty that's basically super high. I mean, she's essentially just like a pothead and like mushroom head, because like you can tell, because like the whole like stage, every time you would touch one of them mushrooms, you get transported to like this different place. So yeah, her whole thing is just like being super high and all that, and that's like when you fight her, that's why she split up into so many different things. But that was a pretty cool boss fight too. It also does incorporate you using the gun too, especially this one, you got to use it a lot. Now, next boss fight's a pretty interesting one, because you have Jonesy, which is essentially just a knockoff Bootsy, and that's essentially what he really is. And his boss fight, it's okay. I mean, once you get up to like the one moon area, you got to destroy all those things that you can basically shoot him again. Like that part can be annoying, mainly because like you got to rush and get that, but for the most part, it's not that bad of a boss fight. And then the last one is Lewis, and you know, he's on the motorcycle. I will say his boss fight is okay, but I feel like it has way too many goddamn different stages with it. That's probably one of the problems I have with it, is like there's way too much you have to do with each boss fight, because like it seems like after you beat him one time, he has another thing and another thing and another thing just keeps popping up. Especially like in this playthrough, I ran out of bullets, so I was kind of struggling, and I was like getting damaged, and I had to use a lot of my health, because majority of the game I never had to really use health until I came to this boss fight, and like I had to use up almost all of my health. And the last boss fight of this game, it's okay. It's not really nothing too crazy. For majority of it, you're just trying to dodge his attacks, and then when you finally get to fight him, then you have the moment when you have to go inside him. The next thing you know, like it's the end of the game. So like it's not really that crazy of a boss fight like that though. Now, this game was originally gonna be a remake and not a remaster, but like because so many fans were like in an uproar and they're like, yeah, we do not want a remake, they actually made this remaster. But I am actually interested, like what exactly would have happened with the remake? Would they have had like made this game longer? Would they have added like more story beat elements? I really wonder like what exactly they would have done with the remake. Like I know that a remake most definitely probably would have not been as crazy as the original game was, so I think that's why a lot of people did not want it, because I think the humor and some of the wild out-of-pocket stuff, and of course like the way they even showed Juliet in the game, I think a lot of that would have changed in the remake, and that would have made a lot of fans upset, especially because they would have been calling this shit woke, because you know, some reason that's the thing people always want to say anytime some changes happen in the game. They want to call shit woke, when it's like, dog, that shit ain't woke at all. But I do wonder what they would have done. To me, the only good thing they really could have done is like maybe improve the story and added more elements to it, or just like made the story a little bit longer. That's the only thing I think I could have saw them doing. But besides that, I do think that the tone of the game would have been vastly different than the original. I think they would have cut out a lot of the crazy wacky humor that's in that one, because we'll say a lot of that audio from back then, did it age well? Some did, but others did not. So I mean, I could see them taking out all that if they would have made it. Overall, I had a really fun experience playing Lollipop Chainsaw Repop, mainly because I'm a fan of the original and I hadn't played the original in a long ass time. And the last time I played, I think it was at my friend's house, so it's been like probably like 5 to 10 years since the last time I played it, because I don't remember when the last time I played it. It's been a long ass time since I played the original. It was fun just going through all these chapters again, since it's been a long time since I played it. And it was also fun just seeing some of the humor that was in this game, because there was a lot of funny humor, along with like changing some of the outfits and along with doing some of the combos. Because yeah, this is like one of my favorite genres in the zombie game type of genre, is like where you can just like have a whole bunch of wacky fun with the zombies, and the zombies are not really a threat and you're just going there just defeating them easily. Something like Dead Rising, something like Sunset Overdrive, where it just has funny wacky things you can do when it comes to like all the zombies and stuff. And that's why I really like the original, because it was just a fun game. And this one was really fun. Yes, it does have its problems, but at the same time, if you can get this cheap, I would say get it cheap. It's worth it if you get it cheap, but it's like not as bad as a port as people make it seem, especially because the game was getting constantly updates to like fix some of the issues. And I saw that one of the people that worked on the game, he was always tweeting stuff out about the game and like how there are, and how they even added like outfits to the game. And I saw this is also like on the PS4 and the Xbox One, which is really interesting. It's not on the Switch, because this honestly don't need to be on the Switch. It don't at all. I don't even know. I think this game would probably run even worse on the Switch. Maybe the Switch 2 would be fine, but probably not the Switch. But yeah, if you've played Lollipop Chainsaw Repop, let me know how you feel about it. How was your gameplay with it? Did you experience any bugs? Were there like problems that you experienced with this game? I'm curious how other people's experience with this game was exactly, because like I said, mine wasn't really that bad, but at the same time I could see some of the issues that people had with the game, but to me it was not that bad. I didn't really notice as much. I know there was like some people that were complaining about the frame rates and all that, but like while I was playing it, I probably wasn't paying attention, mainly because I was just playing it like chapter by chapter, because I had other stuff I had to do in life. But if you know, the game has just always been quick, because like the game is like maybe 8 hours tops, depending on what you're doing. If you're taking your time with the game, it's not a long game at all, and it's just a game you constantly replay to like get better scores. Especially if you look at the trophy list, you see you do have to beat the dad's score, and that's what this game really was. You play it the first time just to explore and just get used to the controls, and then once you beat it, that's when you try and just do like a whole bunch of speed runs with the game. That way you can have like the top score and like beat the dad's score and all that. So, and that's what gives this game a lot of replayability, especially with all the costumes and all the hair color changes you can make, and even the chainsaw skins. That's what made this game really replayable, and this one is replayable. It's just like a fun game that you can play on the weekend if you have some time, but I'll say only get it if it's cheap. But if you already own this game, then you have your own feelings about it. But if you've not picked this up yet, just get it when it's way cheaper, because it's not worth paying full price for. Because I'll even say, even though I got this like this, I got this kind of because I just wanted a physical copy, because I like owning physical copies of games, and I wanted the original, but the original to me is too pricey right now at some of the places, so I just wanted to pick this one up and play this game again. But yeah, only get this game if it is cheap, so it's worth buying it if it's on sale though. But to me, it was not really as bad as a port as people are making it seem to be. And the crazy thing is, I've really not seen that many videos on this of people just talking about this, because I thought more people would talk about this, because I mean, I thought people were really fans of the game, but I've really not seen that many videos of people just talking about this game. But yeah, the port is not as bad as people make it seem to be.